be in sync for you because you're just syncing up with the delayed thing that's getting sent to you.
You know it's not delayed and getting sent to you this week? That's right, this Hungover
That all depends if I get it up on time. Oh, God.
Now I put the pressure on him. It's all right, because I'm still behind on video editing, because I'm still bringing you Drunk Play 3.0 or 2.1.0. Anyway, to our channel, which you can find at youtube.com/hungovergaming.
Yes, you can. All 104 subscribers of you, thank you so much out there, keeping the Hungover Gaming community going strong. Of course, you can find this podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, and YouTube. And we're still working on Twitch, but that is reliant on OBS cooperating with me. But anyways, smooth. Yvonne is drinking. What are you drinking?
It's a Hudson Whiskey Baby Bourbon.
Baby bourbon? That means just a bourbon that's aged less than a typical bourbon?
And they use babies' tears.
Then it must be so sweet. Oh. Anyways, yeah. What are we talking about today, Yvonne?
Today, we're going to delve a little deeper into Disney because they just had D23, and we're going to take a couple things one thing that I'm super excited for, which is The Mandalorian, and then also go into something that I think everybody is a bit saddened by, frustrated or angry at, which is the rift between Sony and Spider-Man.
Yes.
Or Sony and Disney over Spider-Man.
Yes, it's a touchy topic for us New Yorkers out here. Hey, Spider-Man! Why you swinging out of the MCU? What's wrong with you, man? Come on, Tom Holland. We need you. Anyways. Of course. Yeah, because, okay, well, I have no stake in the game. I don't care. But the other New Yorkers out there, they care. Yvonne, thank you so much for introducing the topics of the show. But, of course, we start our podcast out every single week by asking each other, what media have you been consuming? And what did you drink last night?
Well, continuing what I drank last night was this Hudson Baby Bourbon, which is pretty sharp. And pretty difficult for me at the moment, as it's giving me some acid reflux troubles. But it
bourbon. All those baby
one
tears.
Of the best bourbons I have ever had.
Sounds good. Hudson. I think I have a bottle of Hudson bourbon, but
I think you have the same bottle, in fact.
Oh, is it called Baby Bourbon?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Baby Bourbon.
All right, I would assume it's the most popular bottle they have.
They also have a it's a mix of their rye bourbon, which is a mix of different things.
I see. Okay.
But it's pretty delicious. I highly recommend it.
Very nice.
Yes, I bought this baby bourbon to hang out with Laura's friends when we were down there in Pennsylvania. It was great.
Wow, cool. And you brought the bottle back.
Just a little bit. Just
nice.
A hint.
Because there was only a little left after you're done hanging out.
You know, this guy.
Hey.
All sorts of shenanigan type things. Oh my god.
Fair enough.
It's really late.
It's pretty late. We're recording at 10 p.m. on a Sunday night for all you people out there who are listening on Monday morning. We really care about you guys. It'll be edited and uploaded, I swear. But yeah, so you went out to Pennsylvania this weekend?
Yeah, it was a really good time.
What'd you guys do?
Well, we visited with our friends that are out there, and
you just hung out.
Yeah, we hung out a bit. There was we actually got rooms at the little hotel. That's the only hotel in town.
That's cool. It's that small of a town?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, nice.
This hotel is spectacular. As you walk up, because there is no elevator, mind you, it's a historically preserved building. As you walk up to the second floor, you start to get this feeling of weirdness, because as you walk up these steps, into your eyes flash this mustard toxic yellow that the walls have been painted with these like really cheesy Western style paintings that are based on like train interaction with the town, because this town is known for back in the day being one of the first places where steam trains were tried out in the United States.
Nice.
So it's got that kind of theme running through the entire town.
Didn't they start out, I guess they developed the technology and tested it on the East Coast, but they definitely built from both coasts, right?
They did.
They did,
there
right?
There's the Pacific Company and
the transatlantic railroad, right?
The Union Railroad, something like that, which came from both sides and met somewhere towards the Rockies.
That's cool. I mean, that's an awesome and really unifying undertaking, and that's a lot of historical stuff there. Not too long ago.
Learn about it in Red Dead Redemption.
Oh, did you play that game?
The original one? Yes.
Oh, I thought you meant the second one. Sorry.
No, definitely
still waiting
the
for
original.
PC.
I still haven't played it.
Still waiting for PC. What the fuck, Rockstar? Come on. Get with the program.
You would have thought they would have developed that by now, but hey, nope. In any case, it's an interesting stay. It was a king-size bed that I sprung for, which was great.
That must have been nice. You can roll over twice and still not touch Laura. That's amazing. Not really, but that's
Laura
awesome.
Laura was like, it's too big. You don't cuddle me anymore.
How do you even fit a king-size bed in any hotel room? That's the question.
There's about this much space on the other side. There's like 6 inches of space on the other side of the door. Or of the room, where you can barely slide by without like scraping your knee or shins across the bed frame. Or you just kind of like roll over on the bed, which is how I generally did it. And
that's
just
how
like
you
hopping combat roll over Laura to reach the other side. Which
awesome.
had no nightstand. This room, only the one nightstand in the room.
So you have to put your phone on.
Every single plug was occupied when we walked in.
Oh, what? So what? Wait, what was plugged in at the nightstand?
The
lights, the clock.
The nightstand had nothing plugged in. There was no clock. There was a lamp on it that plugged somewhere in between the middle of the mattress kind of behind. Oh god, it's late, so I'm going to be doing that. And then on the other side was another light that took up that same socket. Then somehow the air conditioning unit also plugged in somewhere, but there was no other plugs for us to get to. Then you walked around to the other side, which was the foyer room, or the entertaining room, which had a sofa that pulled out into a double bed.
You got a real suite then.
It was pretty swanky. But the air conditioner was plugged in, so you couldn't use that one. The microwave was plugged in, and the refrigerator was plugged in, so there were no open things. We took the plug off of the AC unit for the most part, because we didn't need it in the secondary room, just in our room. So we were able to charge phones, like hot swapping between the two of us.
You should buy one of those, a charger with 2 USB ports.
And we should. We haven't thought that far.
You splurged on the king size suite and didn't get the USB charger. Anyways.
No, I couldn't do it. But this place is so great. You couldn't flush the toilet and take a shower at the same time. Not that you'd want to necessarily. Well, they were both in the same room, obviously.
Sometimes you're like, oh, I got a shower, and then you're like, oh, but I kind of have to pee first. But then you're like, oh, should I pee in the shower? This time I'll pee in the toilet. And then you're like, oh, but then I have to leave the pee there while I'm showering? No, I gotta flush it now. And then you gotta wait for the shower because it's gotta fill up the tank first. And then it's a... Don't worry, I've lived in places like that. And I've had run into that situation more than once in my life.
Turns out you just pee in the shower.
And look, sometimes you gotta pee in the shower. All right. Sometimes you realize you have to pee before you shower. In that case, you should probably just pee in the toilet. But sometimes you realize you have to pee while you're showering, in which case you might as well just go for it. I don't know. That's my theory. I don't know.
It's all the same piping.
Yeah,
I agree with
piping. That's the problem. The piping's the problem. Okay, not the pee in the
sterile.
shower.
It's sterile when
it's
it
hot
comes
water.
out.
It's hot water. Sterilizes it. It's fine.
Anyway,
I always question. By the way, I mean, not that. Not related to pee. Actually, related to other bodily fluids while in showering.
God.
Not those kinds of bodily fluids. My question is, have you ever thought about this? I mean, this all depends on how hot of a shower you're taking. How much do you sweat while you're showering?
Oh, tremendously in this shower. And oftentimes pretty much all the time. Because when I come out of the shower and the humidity goes down no percentage, and I'm just like, I walked out of the shower, I was wet. I wiped it off, and now I'm wet again.
Yeah,
I'm
in the summertime,
sweating.
that happens to me all the time. I'm like, oh, I'm sweating so much. What the hell? I have to shower again.
But this shower was so finicky with the water. It was either it was a Hot Pocket shower, basically. It was either boiling hot or ice cold. And to find that middle ground was like dialing in your microwave unit when you do Hot Pockets. It's like, I'll leave the Hot Pocket out for 30 minutes before I defrost it. And then we're all good.
Idea. Then you can microwave it fewer minutes or less minutes, and then you're good. Maybe. Well, that sounds like a fun weekend, Ivan. Glad you got a little getaway.
Took a boat tour of a lake. Went to a brewery.
Cool. Wow. Pretty cool. God.
That burns on its way down. There's no way around it. And so this week in media, I did a little bit of Mass Effect, did a little bit of Overwatch.
Okay.
Did a bit of Battlestar Galactica, going back to the 2004.
The old school stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Still holds up?
It still does. It's a great show. I got Laura hooked onto it. She loves it now. She's just watching it.
How are you watching
right now, currently? It's on Amazon Prime, so...
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
It's included with Amazon Prime.
Oh, cool. Maybe I should watch it then. Again, I've watched it before.
It's great. It's
fantastic
spectacular. At least the first two seasons. The first season for sure is just like mind-blowingly good.
Nice.
But some of the graphics are like certainly dated.
Well, yeah, early CG will be more dated than anything practical, I would say. Even though some practical effects can be corny. Especially movies from the 80s, but
there's also some
but that's part of the charm. It's part of the charm.
Yeah, there's also some combat in this series that could benefit from the John Wicking it.
Yeah, that would
but
be great.
You know.
Well,
did you tell me that the Matrix 4 is going to be released?
Yes, they just announced that Keanu Reeves and what's her name? Carrie-Anne Fisher? No. That's Carrie-Anne Moss, sorry. Yeah. Trinity are confirmed to be part of and in this movie. And then they said most of the original cast. Who knows what that means? And they're bringing back, I think, one of the Wachowskis to write and direct the movie.
Lana.
It's Lana. I was about to say the other one. But yes, it's Lana Wachowski who's going to... direct this one, so hopefully, I mean, didn't they direct the second and third ones also? So, and I think their only successful movie was they only directed The Matrix essentially, and Matrix 2 and 3. That's their film.
I think you're forgetting a little movie known as Jupiter Rising.
And Jupiter Rising, I know. Oh yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
Oh, it's Jupiter Ascending. Damn
that's
it.
a horrible movie.
Also, Speed Racer, which is a great film.
Is it? Okay, so they have two good movies.
Everyone needs to go back and watch Speed Racer. It's
period. Okay.
They also wrote and produced V for Vendetta, which I really love.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
But that's John McTighe directed that one.
Well, hopefully, now with Keanu Reeves' new resurgence of popularity, I honestly think he should have always been popular. But his new resurgence of popularity may boost this movie even more, and it may be very popular in the box office. Who knows if it'll actually be good, though. Maybe they'll just go for a John Wick style movie that's all about the action and the stunts being performed, and not about the ridiculous story that they try to shoehorn down your throat.
It's got 3 writers, so how could it be bad?
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Anyways, that sounds. I'm excited for it. Matrix 4, of course. But is that all you did, Vaughn?
That's all I did.
I'm glad.
I can't imagine that this movie's going to be good, though.
Neither can I. But honestly, I still like the fight scenes from Matrix 2, and I think we should do, before this movie comes out, we should do a Matrix trilogy review, split into 3 podcasts, of course.
I think we could do 6 podcasts
about Matrix. Oh,
yes.
We could do the Animatrix as well. So isn't that only 4?
Yeah, but I think we could break down all of the movies into multiple podcasts.
Okay? If that's what you want to do, I'm excited.
We'll talk
for this.
about it.
We'll figure
it
out.
Beat for beat.
The most quotable movie of all time. It's The Matrix. It's such a good movie. Prove me wrong, internet. Prove me wrong. It is the most quotable movie of all time. In any situation, you can pull a quote. You can pull a quote.
Next week.
You could probably just speak in Matrix quotes.
Maybe not next week. But the week after next, we're doing a Matrix pod.
Are we?
Yeah.
Do we have to start that early? Do we even know when the Matrix 4 is coming out?
We'll do another one. Fine. They're beginning production in 2020. You want to do this next podcast in 2021?
We're gonna forget.
No,
yeah,
people
okay. We could just do it this year.
When we do old movies.
That's true. I actually think that we should just turn this into a movie review podcast, so we have I think it'll give us more direction, and it also I think it'll give us our podcast an actual theme, which I think people tune into podcasts for, rather than us just bantering about random topics that we find interesting. Of course, I do like doing these.
This is our staff production meeting that you're
right now
tuning into.
Thank you for subscribing to the Hungover podcast, and it's over. Okay. No, but as for me, let's see. I've done quite a few things. Let's see. Most of which I'll start out with drinking, though. It was one of our third ex-roommate. It was his birthday, or it's his birthday on Thursday, and he celebrated it this weekend, yesterday specifically.
Why do Americans celebrate birthdays early?
They just celebrate them on the weekend rather than...
Yeah, but why can't you do it the weekend after?
Yeah, that's a question I can't answer for you, dude. I don't really celebrate my birthday, so I don't know.
Russians don't celebrate their birthdays early because they think it's bad luck.
Well, Americans aren't superstitious about anything because they don't have a history to... They don't have a long enough history to pull back upon. I think that's really it. Superstitions come from old historical places, I would say, in most cultures. Would you agree? Maybe.
Yeah, no, I think Americans are very superstitious.
You think so?
Yeah.
I guess is
black cats not walking.
Is that
over
only
ladders,
American?
spilling salt? I
Or
mean,
did they
Americans are
inherit that?
pretty goddamn superstitious. Talk about any single time there's a sports game when they think that they're going to jinx their team. They're so conceited that they think that their actions will decide the outcome of a sporting
they're hexing
event.
the team? I see.
It's just crazy.
Fair.
But yes, Americans are absolutely superstitious.
Well, I never think about superstition. Well, that's the difference then, because I never think about... Russians may have a superstition about many more things than Americans. But Americans
we definitely
are
have superstitions about different things.
Different things, rather. Sorry. Not more things in particular.
Like,
but I'm sure
when we cheers, you
gotta look in the eye.
You don't. That's not a real big part of it. Apparently, this is a new thing, I think. But you're not allowed to put the glass back down. Okay. You have to sip.
That makes more sense, because I never liked this whole looking in the eye thing, because I feel like I'm gonna spill the drink if I'm not looking at the drink.
What's the point?
Who gives a fuck, dude?
You know, maybe I was raised by alcoholics who don't want drops spilled.
That's us.
Sorry, mom and dad.
Some guy, probably man on the internet, said that on the internet, and then everyone latched onto it as if it was like a long family tradition of theirs to always look in their eye. I don't know.
This became a very popular thing.
It
pretty
did.
Recently.
That's true. I agree. And now everyone's like, "Oh, you got to do it this way, or else it's bad luck." Like, where the fuck did you hear that? Oh, your friend told you that just a week ago, and now you just have to fuck you. You don't know shit. All right.
Exactly.
You don't know shit.
I don't
Anyways,
need to look into your eyes to we don't trust each other that way. Just I'll trust you by you drink yours and I'll drink mine.
Done and done. Anyways, I had a couple drinks. I'm glad you were drinking bourbon just now, because I was drinking bourbon last night. I started out the night with a Widow Jane bourbon, which
Never heard of
is
it.
it's a local distillery in Brooklyn. It's no big deal. I gotta support my local distilleries, at the bar that bought the Widow Jane, and then the money's not going directly to them. But anyways, it's Widow Jane is the brand. It's Cacao Prieto. They're a chocolate and rum and bourbon distillery in Red Hook, which is in Brooklyn. Not Red Hook, New York, but Red Hook, Brooklyn. It's actually a really cool place. It's very, very hipster, I know. But Red Hook is a very special place in Brooklyn, I think, because you have to get there by bus or drive, and there's no real public transit that goes there. So I think it's like a pocket of unattainable culture in New York City, which I think is really cool. And there's a lot of cool stuff to do out there, including visiting this distillery. They make some pretty decent bourbon, so I wanted to I always try to get it. I don't think you can really get it outside of, you could probably, the New York State area. I don't think they really export too far. It's kind of like what's
Isn't there
Pappy
a train
Van
that's
Winkle.
going to
Not
that's
that
going
good, obviously.
to from like Battery to Brooklyn.
If they make that, it's gonna be in 2080, dude. They haven't even finished the Second Avenue line, which they barely just got up and running, and they've been discussing that for like 30
Fair
to 100 years. So if it's happening when I'm 100. That's a huge undertaking, and they haven't even fucking fixed it. Don't get me started on MTA. Don't get me started on MTA. All right. Anyways, this is cool. If you're ever in Brooklyn, maybe you can go. I mean, it's kind of out of the way, but maybe you can go stop by there and pick up some bourbon there. They're very expensive though. This bourbon though, very heavy on the vanilla notes. I would say the oak barrel comes from the oak barrels. Obviously, it's pretty good though. I like it. It's not the best bourbon I've ever had, but it's it's something unique that you can pick up in a New York City bar. So go ahead and check it out. Also, I had a couple beers, whatever. Nothing notable in my opinion.
Nothing to write home about.
Nah, nothing to write home about. And I had Bloody Mary today. It's also Nikki's birthday. Nikki and our other roommate are birthday buddies. They have birthdays within a week of each other, I think, or a couple days, I guess. So we had a little brunch celebration with her family, and I had a Bloody Mary. This is one of those things where you do the bottomless drinks. I can't drink that much anymore, so I'm kind of sad at that moment. It's just getting unlimited drinks. I only had a couple, like half of a drink, because I drank last night. But anyways, yeah, it sucks. I can't drink like 2 nights in a row anymore. But yeah, so
what
that's
have they done to you, my boy?
That's it for drinking. Yeah, I know. Don't talk to me about it, right? But another cool thing that came out was on the Nintendo Switch, Dragon Quest XI-S, Echoes of an Elusive Age, Definitive Edition demo. I finally figured out the name of this game. The demo came out, so I'm playing through that. It's actually an incredibly long demo. This is a new trend in gaming. When a demo is released, it's usually like 3 to 4 hours long. Like, holy shit.
Jesus.
Yeah,
That
this
is a
demo
long
I've been playing for 3 hours so far, and it doesn't seem like it's gonna end anytime soon. So like,
What
oh,
you don't know is that your account has been draining minute by
yeah,
minute.
they charge you.
They've
per
been
minute.
charging you 35 cents a minute after the first 60.
I mean, I already pre-ordered the game, but the cool thing about this demo is your progress carries over. So you're playing like the first 3 hours of the game for free, and then you can carry it over to the game when you're ready to buy it. So I think that's a pretty cool thing. This game, it's the 11th game in the series, but Dragon Quest is like the most popular RPG series in Japan, and it is it's a pretty cool. It's sort of what a lot of JRPGs draw from, or are inspired from. And also, Akira Toriyama has done the character designs for the game. I think most, if not all, of the Dragon Quest games. So a lot of the characters and monsters look like they're straight out of Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball, which is super cool, I think. So yeah, go check that game out if you're looking for an RPG. It's free. You play the demo.
Sounds fun.
And what else? I played some Overwatch with you, of course. We played through the Roll Q beta, and did I watch anything? No, I didn't watch anything. I had something else. Maybe it'll come to me. But I think, speaking of watching things and consuming media, there's been a lot of hearsay and talk about this new Mandalorian show, which will be not the first Star Wars show ever, TV series. Of course, there's Clone Wars, which you can watch right now. But I believe
Weren't
this
there two different versions of the Clone Wars?
Yes, there were. There was Clone Wars before Disney acquisition, and then there's... I guess they might be both.
2D, and then the Clone Wars 3D, which is canon.
Which is canon, for sure.
And has Darth Maul.
Yes. And I hear they were both pretty good. I tried watching it when I was a kid, the original one. I never got into it, but I'm not saying it's bad. I'm sure it was totally fine. I will say, though, I think this is the first ever live-action Star Wars TV show. I guess you can't really call it TV anymore, right? It's not.
It's a Disney Plus show, man.
It's a streaming exclusive.
It's a premium network show.
Is it a network? Is Disney a network?
Premium service show.
What do you call you just call it a show now, right? But it's like
a flagship show.
It's like, yeah, I guess so. That makes sense.
I would call it a premium network.
Yeah, or is it like
premium streaming service?
That makes sense. You can't call it a TV show, but that's my point. Anyways, yeah, so we wanted to talk about, they released a trailer. Of course, the D23 Expo went on over this weekend, I believe. I'm not sure when or maybe during the week a little bit. Of course, we're recording this on August 25th, 2019. And yeah, it looked pretty cool. It looked really high budget, as to be expected from Star Wars and Disney as of currently. Star Wars is this multi-million-dollar, maybe even billion-dollar movie franchise. Each movie now costs probably somewhere within the budget of a Marvel movie, and maybe a little less, I would say.
I think these are each somewhere around $10 million an episode.
Each episode, right? So it's
that
going to be a 10
Mandalorian
episode series.
Is a 10 episode series with like $100 million budget.
Now, is this is about Boba Fett then?
This
right?
is,
or is it about Jango
after
Fett?
The stories of Jango and Boba Fett, another warrior emerges in the Star Wars universe. The Mandalorian, set after the fall of the Empire and before the emergence of the First Order. We follow the travels of a lone gunfighter in the outer reaches of the galaxy, far from the authority of the New Republic.
So this is Disney's essentially phase 2 of Star Wars. This is starting it. So Disney,
although this is planned in phase 1.
I see. I see. I didn't know
right?
they
Because
announced that. They probably
the idea of the Mandalorian, it had been kind of floated for a while, I think, and then this kind of helps to tie in between the universes. It's kind of the story became. It was basically one of the side story movies that became this flagship TV show once they figured out that they needed a flagship show for their new Disney streaming service.
I see.
So they chose the Star Wars property to be that, and they got Jon Favreau to be the series lead.
That's pretty cool.
So, not series lead, but the
director.
I think the showrunner. Basically.
Runner. Sorry. So no longer is Disney dwelling on... I mean, they're obviously they're huge maybe $billion movies are this new trilogy that they're making, episodes 7, 8, and to be 9 this December. Goddamn cats in this room. So that those are like the huge movies, right? But they also made 2 other movies, Rogue One and Solo, which took place I guess Rogue One took place in between episodes 4 and 5, which are the original movies. And then Solo took place before episode 4, if I'm not mistaken. So
wait, when did Rogue One take place?
It was...
Rogue One
they
took
stole...
place between episode 3 and 4.
Oh, sorry, 3 and 4, my bad. Because they stole the Death Star plans.
Right.
That's it. So both of those movies took place before the original... Excuse me. I know the Star Wars nerds they already have the pitchforks out.
They're hype. They're hype.
So yeah, those 2 movies took place very far in the past. This will now take place, I guess, after episode 9, or...
This takes place after episode 6, but before episode 7.
This is so confusing. That makes sense.
Episode 1 through 3 is like The Phantom Menace to
Darth Vader.
Revenge of the Sith.
Episodes,
then there's Rogue One.
Yep.
And presumably Solo comes sometime between episode 2 and episode 4.
Because he's very young, and it takes place over... I didn't see Solo, by the way, so you'll have to forgive me for not knowing much about that
and
movie.
I'm not the biggest Star Wars nerd, so I don't know the mysterious characters' names or the tertiary characters' names. But basically, and then
what,
there's
you
4,
don't
5,
know?
6.
What are the bounty hunters that are in the movie episode 6 for like 1 sec, or episode 5 for like 10 seconds, that everyone made like all these backstories for? They have like 10 seconds of screen time. There's that one robot. there's the green lizard or something. I don't fucking know. It's just hilarious to me. Star Wars fans are the fucking craziest people.
It's awesome though.
I'm glad they're happy.
Effort that they put into like really knowing what the backstory of each of these characters is just levels of insane.
It's awesome. I'm glad they can make these stories. But yeah, so this is, I guess, someone's taken over. Oh, is it another clone? Are the clones still alive?
Because we
don't know, because they never took off the helmet, right?
So I don't know. I have stayed away from finding out about the Mandalorian for the most part.
Just now.
I would imagine that we have casting.
Yes.
So the casting is Pedro Pascal as the Mandalorian. So he's the guy from Game of Thrones. You might know him as the Viper. But also he's done some other stuff. God damn it. What is his new stuff? He did some sort of Western that I liked a lot. Oh, he was in Triple Frontier. So Pedro Pascal is going to be playing the Mandalorian. He's been in like Triple Frontier most recently, which was a Netflix movie. And then he's probably most known for Game of Thrones. He was the Oberyn Martell. He went up against this big guy, and he was this like swaggerish dude who fucked a lot, so people loved him. He is pretty sweet, and I like him as an actor.
Yeah, and
a lot.
And he's done many things recently that a lot of people may have watched, me excluded, because I have no idea who this
I think
person
you
is.
should check out Narcos if you get the chance. The first season is fucking amazing.
Cool.
Narcos is about how they got. The first season is about how they went after Pablo Escobar.
Okay.
And which is just fantastic.
And so he's done a lot of flagship shows, you would say.
I would say that yes.
I have a question. Do you think it takes a different type of actor to do flagship shows as opposed to movies? Similarly to how it's a very different experience to do a play compared to a movie? Or do you think it's very similar, TV shows and movies?
I would say that here's the difference.
Yes.
Before, television was this long, drawn-out process which limited your availability in your schedule.
Yes.
And it would be like 8 to 10 months to shoot a season.
Because...
It's like 22 episodes, 23 episodes.
Because they had to have filler time. It just took longer. They needed to fill network time with many episodes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So a season is super, super, super long. And so then you have these actors who are bound by these contracts, and basically television was a way to become well enough known to go into movies where you make more money because they're smaller schedules. So smaller tier movies like I'm working on are 30 something days maximum. Usually it's a little less or a little lower, but you can make a good chunk of change. Then when you go up a little bit, then it's like a few more days, maybe more. But the amount of movies that you can make in a year versus the amount of television that you can make, and it's different projects versus the same character that you're playing all the time, made it either not lucrative or not interesting for many different actors. Mm-hmm. Now, many actors made an entire career being on like soap operas and different things, and that was great for the stability that they had, the needs that they had, and the characters that they got to play. It just like fit everything that they wanted. It gave them time to go maybe do a movie or two.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is almost about this.
Exactly. Yeah. So like you get to transition between projects at your pace that you want. Maybe that's just how your career gets pigeonholed, etc. But in modern TV,
yes,
you can make a 10-episode television show for a season in a much shorter amount of time with a higher budget. But the main thing is that you're making more content, so you get paid a little more.
Right.
Usually.
And that's because, and this is because they write the whole story arc for the entire season all at once, or probably mostly all at once, and then they have already planned out each episode, so they can just book all the time they need with the actors. And I'm asking you this, I don't know if this is true.
This is more the structure of finance that goes into the creation of these shows.
Okay.
So why do you need 23, 24 episodes and this long production schedule? If you can shorten that to 10 episodes, you release it on there's no television season on Netflix or Hulu or Amazon Prime. So you release it when it's done, so you don't have a window that you need to prepare for in order to send that out, generally.
Okay.
So, like, let's say, for instance, Stranger Things, one season that they shoot everything, get everything done in, 8 months. And then between seasons 2 and 3, they took, a couple years off or a year off in order to secure that and make that all good. So the difference there is all about... there's no production schedule in terms of timing on television. The production schedule is based on when you have this chunk of whatever that, so you have it all written, you have it all figured out, but it's based on you have this to produce. You need to make this show appear on our service. You have, based on the amount of money, you figure out when and everything that you need to get done, but then production teams will shorten the time period in which it takes to get that, because they don't have the luxury of adjusting to network things, and there's just like, it's all motivated by finance and production schedule wanting to be tight to secure the least amount of labor costs that are necessary. So you produce these 10 episode or 8 episode or 12 episode series, but you produce them right after each other in order to shorten the production schedule and not have to pay labor as much.
And also, scheduling everything is easier that way. So okay, so it just seems like there's just more efficient planning in TV shows nowadays than what was previously a TV show production
previously
schedule.
You had season arcs probably that you knew from start to finish what would happen. Of course. But the stuff in between is just basically like if you're talking about How I Met Your Mother, there were season arcs that they had these characters go on, but the individual episodes that they had to fill in the middle are just basically kind of like, by season 5 and 6, they're just like bare bones ideas that writers had that they have to piece together and flesh out in some sort of like A, B, and C storylines,
Okay, cool. So we sort of got off on a tangent on just TV shows in general and the production of TV shows, but how do you think the Mandalorian's gonna play out? Do you think it's just gonna be you said it's 10 episodes, 10 episode season, or do you think?
I doubt it. I think that this is going to be a flagship product, and if we look
Disney's
at the trailer,
milking Star Wars for everything it's got, right?
Obviously,
they have to be.
If we look at the trailer, what is the first 8 seconds, at least 10 seconds? You see a Mandalorian walk through, and then what do you see? You see the classic stormtrooper helmets in the sand. You get the feeling that's being evoked is not unlike the shadows on the wall when you saw young Anakin in The Phantom Menace, right? It's linking you back into the kind of aesthetic of Tatooine or something that's from the original series. Then we jump to the classic Lucasfilm thing, and then we're moving into this spaceship that's flying over this green world. It's clearly different than that desert. So what is this telling us? It's telling us that the scope of the universe is going to be bigger.
Places.
But what else does it look like? So this ship that's here evokes multiple things. First, for me, it looks a lot like the Firefly ship. So if you go through and see Firefly, what this ship looked like, it looks a lot like that. It's got those 2 twin engines that are outside, that are stabilizers in the main core. So it seems to be linking into that. It also has somewhat of like the Hunger Games. They have some ships that look like that. So there's a lot of different ships that are being linked into this, and it looks kind of like Naboo-ish. Then we hop to a third world, and here we have multiple ships. We have a beautiful design aesthetic. It's combining elements of CG clearly, as well as strong production design.
And it looks like, from the description, of course, I'm just reading the description of the YouTube video. They're going to be on the outer reaches of the galaxy, far from the authority of the New Republic. So that means that this is just like, we need to separate this entirely so we don't even have to worry about messing with what's going on in timelines and things like that. So that's actually really great that they're doing that, because it means, I think this is where the strongest stories can come from that Disney now has authority over. I mean, right. So let's think about the situation. Disney has taken over one of the most beloved franchises ever, or at least in recent nerd history, right?
For
So
sure.
Star Wars is huge. Everyone holds the one episodes 3, 4, 5, and 6 sacred. Episodes 7, 8, and 9 are directly following that story. So they have to be, they have to make everyone happy and shit like that. They don't have really much creative freedom with that because they're going to end up pissing someone off no matter what when they make these movies. It doesn't matter.
I disagree that they would have no creative freedom. I think that they have plenty of creative freedom. For instance, the whole episode 8 being this long chase in space.
Yeah, I guess
is a creative idea, poorly executed, actually a terrible idea.
Well, okay, you're right with that they have.
But it could have been solved in literally the first minute. Just everybody evacuate this one ship and then put a droid to have it go into autopilot space warp through the enemy. Oh no!
Episode 9. Oh my god. Yeah. So basically, I mean, look, they're still dealing with the main 3 characters of the movie, right? They've killed off 2 of them, and clearly they're gonna kill off CG. Rest in peace, right? Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
But this is, I think, where they have much more creative freedom, and they're able to take way more chances with a story like this. Not anyone, I mean, surely people draw parallels between Jango Fett and Boba Fett. Who cares about Jango Fett? But Boba Fett, right? And this main character because of the helmet, the classic helmet that he's wearing. But that's essentially, and I'm sure maybe he's like some, I don't know, we don't know the story yet, but maybe he's some worshiper of Boba Fett. He's like, oh, Boba Fett was the most legendary bounty hunter ever. He was so cool. He killed people in the Sarlacc pit.
Well, the Mandalorians are a warfaring space people, and we can go back to Knights of the Old Republic, which had a long...
Which you're playing, aren't you? Or you were?
Kind of. I mean, I was. I've played this game like a dozen times.
You restarted the game.
So the Mandalorians play a big role in Knights of the Old Republic in terms of they were this kind of Mongolian-esque people who craved war, improving themselves in battle, and they just wanted good fights against a strong enemy. So that's why they came up against the Republic. And then they get hired out as bounty hunters or strong mercenaries and things like that. So this is obviously evoking kind of the Old West operatic space fantasy that Joss Whedon had in Firefly and that people loved. But we can't double dip into the Firefly universe. So what properties do we have that can explore this kind of same ethos as Firefly did, which has a ravenous cult following? Which every year there are articles about how Firefly was the best show and it never got its chance and it needs to be rebooted, blah, 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 blah. So much so that they got their own movie and all that shit.
So, but thinking about that in many ways there are parallels between Star Wars and Firefly, right? I guess.
For sure.
And with such a strong cult following, if they were to reboot it, like they're doing with Star Wars, can they make all the fans happy? I don't know. They can't, and you can never do that, right? I don't know any reboot in recent history, which there have been plenty, that made the fans happy, like very, very happy. I don't know. Maybe the what was it? The Blade Runner, which I didn't see.
2149.
Yeah, was that a that was a good movie. I think it looked exactly like people remembered Blade Runner looking, but I don't know that enough people watched it to enjoy it. And
I think there have been some reboots that people really, really like.
Okay.
But they're like the amount of times that it's successful versus its total garbage is totally weighted towards total garbage.
Yes. So
this is a way to take the ethos and aesthetic of the Star Wars atmosphere and universe and world building, which is something that Star Wars fans love so much, and make it into a cool Western type action infused series, which is something that's super popular.
Yeah. So I think
and
this
has
looks
funding
cool.
and support.
Of course, it has plenty of funding from Disney, and it does seem like Disney is letting them go out and do what they want to do, which
Exactly.
I feel like when you think about it, right? Disney is it's just Mickey Mouse in the fucking in the manager room, just like really pissed off about and just really pulling all the strings, right? Or Mr. Disney himself. But yeah, they have to hold it up to some sort of Disney standard. Like, they have to hit all of these beats in a Marvel movie, right? That's why all these Marvel movies, and I know everyone loves the Marvel movies or whatever, but they are pretty much all the same movie to me, I think. They're all like, when you go see a Marvel movie, you expect to just like, it's a fun action flick, I get it, but you expect to hit all these notes that are all pretty much the same notes in all of the movies, in my opinion. I think similarly, we have seen that with the episodes 7 and 8. Not so much. Rogue One I thought was really good. I liked that. And then Solo I didn't see because I heard it was bad. But it looks like this, from the trailer anyways, and this description, of course, that doesn't really give us much. It's a 1.5-minute trailer. That they're Disney is willing to lessen their grip on the production of such a beloved series, such as Marvel or Star Wars, and it looks like they're letting them go free and do what they want to do.
I don't think that they're lessening the grip. I'm thinking that they're looking to expand the universe in a direction that can bring in
more revenue.
Other people who are searching for maybe a slightly more adult aesthetic now that the audience has grown a bit. So they're looking for...
So it's all an ulterior motive from a business trying to make money, is what you're saying.
No, that's what you were saying, I think. I'm saying that they're looking for a different audience, which is a money market as well.
Well, yeah, in the end
but
game.
It's a different vein to explore the same property.
Yeah, the end goal, I mean, if Disney makes a lot of money from this and people like it, is there a problem? I don't think so. No, everyone's happy in that situation. So that's good.
So, and in that vein, the first character that gets revealed full face is Carl Weathers of Rocky fame. He was Apollo Creed back in the day.
Bryce.
Carl Weathers is great. He was also in Predator.
He is great.
And then the next person that they reveal is Gina Carano as Cara Dune, a character, an actress I know almost nothing about. Well, then we flash through, they've got Twi'leks, people riding on things. Not a lot of which I know. There's the actress who looks familiar, but I don't know exactly who it is. But the main people that we get to, the only voice that we hear after we see Giancarlo Esposito, famous from Breaking Bad as Gustavo, Gus Fring, is one of my favorite directors of all time, Werner Herzog, which I was so fucking happy about. He's so fucking cool. He is a dangerous movie maker. He doesn't really give a shit about safety of actors or filmmaking a lot.
My dad likes Herzog a lot.
I've seen... I to give you a perspective, I saw Werner Herzog's take on Heart of Darkness, which was a bunch of conquistadors going into the Amazon.
Yes.
It's called Aguirre, The Wrath of God.
Yes.
It's a 1972 film.
That's one of my dad's favorite movies of his. It's a great movie.
I saw that when I was in 8th grade.
Awesome, man.
And I was just like, whoa, what is this fucking movie?
He makes some awesome movies. So
Werner Herzog is an amazing director, I think. And his voice is so fucking classic.
Yeah. So that's really cool. It looks like, Disney has unlimited budget, so they can get anyone they want in this movie. So that's good.
Yeah, that's the main thing. I think they're
it's a TV show. Sorry.
They're going all out to make this a flagship property. Make sure that Jon Favreau, who is running the show, has the actors and production and everything that he wants in order to make it. The vision that he has,
right.
Which Jon Favreau established the Marvel Universe, so it makes total sense for him to take the reins on The Mandalorian.
Which is essentially when Disney goes off into making, I think they're finally going to leave the Skywalker trilogy in the dust. And with this is probably their first step. And I think that's great if Star Wars is to continue living on, which I guess it should. I don't know. If you want it to, then go support this. This is probably going to be a great show, and Disney, I don't think they need too much more to fill out their Disney Plus subscription service, but it seems like this is a great start to it. And I think this is probably what they're really pushing for, because they finally built up a catalog of things that they can stream. No, I actually don't know why it took Disney so long to get into the streaming service business. Maybe they didn't acquire the proper company to run their streaming service until recently. I think that's probably more likely, because clearly they have the with the acquisition of Marvel minus Sony goodwill and the acquisition of Star Wars, it seems like Disney Plus is shaping out to be better than something like Netflix, for instance, in some ways. So you may have noticed I said minus Sony there, but we can talk about that.
I was just briefly coming into this, is that Disney was looking to get into the streaming service. They acquired, I think, a part of the company that did the Major League Baseball MLB streaming.
Okay.
And eventually were making their way into Hulu so that they could show all of their movies, including all of the Marvel movies, which up until recently had included one of the most beloved characters of all time in the Marvel Universe, Spidey.
Spider-Man. So, right. So, do you... Okay, this is just tangential again. We've gone on a lot of tangents in the podcast. They can clearly make more money from having you pay whatever the price is, $10 a month to have access to all the Marvel movies streamed to whatever device you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
Than you buying a $500 Blu-ray collection or whatever 4K Ultra Blu-ray collection of all the Marvel movies. Once, I guess Endgame has already come out on DVD, or no, it hasn't yet, I don't think, or maybe it has. So leading up to Endgame,
it was still in movie theaters.
Shouldn't you? Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, why wouldn't they, right? They're making so much money on it.
It just passed Avatar's.
Okay, well, once Endgame comes out on Blu-ray, surely they're gonna have a $500 collection eventually, right? That they have to have. That's
maybe it is on Blu-ray,
and they're still showing it in theaters.
Yeah, I can buy it right here.
Oh, that's cool.
On Amazon.
Okay, so my question, I mean, for the collectors out there, that's a really cool collection to have, right? Your favorite movies or all of the movies all in one collection. I mean, for me, I purchased this because Hayao Miyazaki is my favorite director, or anime director, and of course these movies are distributed by Disney. Even Disney's name is on this. They're distributed by Disney in America. So I bought the collected works of Hayao Miyazaki. He's not fucking done making movies, so this collection doesn't matter at all. And eventually, these Blu-rays are going to be obsolete, so what the fuck did I buy this for? Anyway, so my point
That's
is
exactly how I feel about my James Bond collection, by
right,
the way.
and they're making
It's
that's
like the
another
complete
podcast.
James Bond box set, and I just have to keep buying these individual
right,
Blu-rays.
and so pissed off. So I wanna, and clearly they're gonna make more Marvel movies. So
Right.
would you buy the $500 whatever the price would be? There's so many movies. Did they?
I think that's why they're doing the phases or whatever. So
You just
now
buy
from
phase
Iron
one.
Man to Avengers Endgame, they could just make that an entire box set. And then for anybody who wants those Blu-rays, you can buy them, but they're going to continue to make movies so that people come to the box office, they will have streaming services, etc. But Blu-rays and like physical media still have a much higher resolution.
That's
They
what I
are
was gonna
easier
say to
watch.
you. Yeah.
So for me personally, I prefer, if there's something that I really, really love, I prefer to own it in a hard disk because
Like
it will
these
just
movies.
look better.
Yeah, I have absolutely noticed that. I mean, I stream a lot of anime because some anime is pretty difficult to get on physical media, and I'm not about to go out and fucking buy all of Dragon Ball Z. Do you know how much money that shit costs on Blu-ray?
$1 billion,
There's
I think.
because there's almost 500 episodes of it. And you have to buy it in different anyways. Yeah, so I bought this because it looks absolutely amazing on Blu-ray, and that's just 1080p, right? I'm sure they have 4K Blu-rays now. I don't even have 4K TV.
4K Ultra HD.
Right. So, but the point is, for those of you out there, I mean, watching a Blu-ray on a decent monitor or a decent TV, if you have like a QLED TV, that must be amazing. Will hold up much better than streaming, even in 4. I think personally.
I think streaming, for the most part,
Streaming
in terms of
in 4K,
visual
I'm just
and
saying.
audio quality, is much worse. There's not enough signal strength at the moment across
In America.
American networks to have the matching quality. Now, when we get to full 5G and everything's like super gigabyte up down, possibly that will be good enough quality. But until then, I don't think that that's worth it. So that's
Right.
why this physical media is worth it.
Anyways, we went on another tangent about just physical media versus streaming in 2019. But we were going to discuss Sony and their quarrels with Disney over Spider-Man. Now, I believe this stems from Sony actually owning the rights to the production of Spider-Man movies, if I'm not mistaken. And Disney wants to take this into a direction where Spider-Man is obviously part of the MCU. And I believe probably Disney wants to get those rights from Sony because Spider-Man is a very integral part, at least in terms of popularity, to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, because Sony doesn't want that to happen, they're not letting Spider-Man be part of the MCU, is essentially the discourse going on right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
What do you think
So-
about this, Yvonne?
The initial stuff. So Disney
Yeah.
reportedly asked Sony for 25% of the profits on any future Spider-Man movie Marvel Studio works on, not the 50-50 split as initially stated. Sony and Marvel Studios entered in a partnership to share Spider-Man in 2015. The original deal was simple. Sony paid for any Spider-Man solo film and received the profits. Meanwhile, Marvel Studios was given the creative input on these films and allowed to use Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe for the
Okay.
first time.
Sure.
So, it was kind of, that seems pretty simple. And then his second solo movie marked the end of Sony's and Marvel's deal, which was extended after the original arrangement of one MCU film and one solo film. When the split was first reported, it was easy to understand why neither side wanted to agree to the other's proposal. This is according to Screen Rant. The early reports said Disney wanted to co-finance future Spider-Man movies and split the profits with Sony in exchange for Kevin Feige's work. But Sony reportedly wanted to keep the deal at its current place, where Marvel Studios received 5% of first dollar gross. It's a huge gap. Anyway, so this is basically
A money issue.
It's a money issue, as these things always tend to be.
Yes.
And it's going to be really disappointing for Marvel fans who really love the Spider-Man character and how he kind of magically disappears from the MCU.
Yeah, I guess all they really have to do... I mean, he's sort of... The way they've written him into these movies is that he's just sort of called upon when he's needed anyways. So I don't think it'll be too difficult to write him out if they have to. Of course, I honestly think these are still in discussion. I don't think Disney's done trying to get Spider-Man into the MCU. So we'll probably see him in the future, just not the recent near future. Sorry.
It's probably possible to do it again.
Yeah. Just like, I mean, we saw, just like X-Men, right? Marvel didn't have the rights. Fox Studios, right? They had the rights to X-Men.
Right.
And then weren't they just bought by Disney outright?
Yep.
So
Yep.
I mean, it's probably going to happen. We all know it's going to happen, just maybe in 10 years, right? It's when Tom Holland is, I don't know how old he is now, but when he's like 40. But I don't even know how old he is now, actually. He could be 40. I don't know. Yeah, so basically this is sad for anyone who cares deeply about Spider-Man. I thought that Tom Holland was one of the better Spider-Mans that we've had in movies. I really liked how his character was written and how he was acted, so it kind of sucks that he's not going to be in these movies. These movies are all about comic relief anyways, I think. Or their best parts may be comic relief, so just completely taking out Spider-Man, a character designed for comic relief, is going to be pretty bad for these movies. So I guess it really does suck. But fuck it, man. I mean, whatever. You guys don't. It doesn't really matter. Do Marvel movies really matter? Anyone, like, think about it. Is this what? It's such a first world problem.
It doesn't really matter. There's Hong Kong protests.
Yeah,
that
come
matters.
on, guys.
This stuff is like
Spider-Man is Spider-Man. Look, it does suck, right? We've finally gotten to the point where we're getting the movies that we really want to be made, or at least nerds are. Nerds. The people who obsess over comics and things are finally getting huge budget movies made essentially for them, in many ways. So it does suck to then have that taken away from you. You've dangled the candy in front of the baby, and now you're just taking it away. So that does really suck, and I hope that Sony can come to a decent financial solution and conclusion to this that makes everyone happy. I don't think they will in the near future, but I think that we can take a break. I haven't looked at the upcoming schedule for phase 5 of this Marvel thing.
They got revealed like Kit Harington is going to be in the MCU. There's some more Black Widow news. Black Panther will be released in 2022.
Cool.
Was it?
So
there's a Loki series that'll come about.
Is Spider-Man integral to any of... Spider-Man has always been a character that he basically functions in New York City. That's it. At least as far as, okay, I'm not the biggest Spider-Man nerd, but as far as I know, he's always been a character that just comes in when he's needed, and then he's out, and he deals with the Sinister Six or whatever, and Rhino or whatever, fucking Electroshock, and the Green Goblin, and then that's it. That's my vision of Spider-Man, and I think that's cool. Whatever. He's just also one of the most popular superheroes around. So it does suck that he's not going to be part of these movies officially. But I think they'll still make Spider-Man movies. Whatever.
Yeah,
And
well,
whatever. I hope everyone's happy.
I think that eventually people will come around, and if not, I think Disney will just try and buy
Sony Pictures.
Sony,
the Sony Pictures division of Sony. Can they buy a division of a company? Is that possible?
Yes, because that's what they did with Fox.
Oh, okay. I thought they just bought all of Fox. Oh, well,
no, they
that
did
doesn't
not
make
buy
sense.
the news.
Yeah, that would make sense. That wouldn't make sense if they did that. You're right. Okay. So yeah, maybe they could just buy Sony Pictures. Why
not?
They're gonna make. Do you know how much money they're about to make once Disney Plus comes out? Pretty sure
enough to buy the world.
Pretty sure
and then we'll
they're
just
going
all be living in the Mickey Mouse universe.
I kind of hate Disney, so I've never really liked anything about original Disney stuff. I kind of like Marvel, and now, I really like Star Wars, but now I only kind of like Star Wars now, so...
You don't even like the original, like, Lion King?
Yeah, I like that. Okay, but I'm 28 now. I don't care about that shit anymore. The fuck?
Don't you like Kingdom Hearts?
No, I don't. I'm going to be honest about that. I don't like Kingdom Hearts. I like Final Fantasy. I don't like Kingdom Hearts. I wanted to like Kingdom Hearts. It should be awesome, but it's not. I don't like those games. I played through the first two, and I couldn't get through Kingdom Hearts 3 because it makes no sense, and it's bullshit. So, go ahead, enjoy Kingdom Hearts, guys. I'm not saying you guys shouldn't enjoy the things that you like. I'm just saying I don't have to enjoy them. Can we just all move on? Let's put it.
No!
Anyways, we end our podcast every single week in a song.
You are the chosen one.
I have the high ground, Daddy. What a great movie. I liked episode 3. Fuck everyone, alright?
Episode 3 is generally considered a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
Except for the fact where Natalie Portman just dies for no reason.
Oh, well, she really doesn't want to be part of Disney movies, so...
She's going to be the new Thor, so
I know.
take that.
That's because they gave her enough money to bring her back. I'm surprised she was persuaded by the old American dollar. The old Disney bucks. It would be so funny.
She can only cash them in at Epcot.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
She has to go to all the different countries and just exchange it for food and beverages there. It's a lot of money.
I'm sorry, Natalie Portman. You're probably a normal person. Anyways, but not after you're in the Disney Club. Once you're in, you can't get out. We're going to end our podcast every single week, as August said. We called Hungover Radio. This is where you, the listener, can send in music to gaminghungover@gmail.com, where we will play it at the end of the podcast. Hopefully it's a song you want us to play because you wrote it or whatever. That's free advertisement for you, my friends. And we play it, and then we link you out, because there's 104 people who need to listen to your song. If no one sends us a song, I get to pick one, and I'll pick a goddamn video game song because we won't get copyright strikes. Today, I've been playing Dragon Quest 11S Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition demo. And let me tell you, the soundtrack for this game is absolutely amazing. It was performed by the soundtrack, that is, all the songs in the game. It was performed by the Tokyo Metropolitan Symphony Orchestra. I think that's their official name. Sure. So, you have some very professional, classically trained, orchestrated music. So that's really cool, and this is going to be the Overture 11 main theme for Dragon Quest 11. Hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you so much for listening to us go on tangents. Next week, we're going to come back with a movie review of Yvonne's choosing. Just tell me a movie to watch, and I'll watch it, Yvonne.
All right. Right now?
Well, before next weekend, please.
Sounds good.
Yes. Anyways, hope you guys enjoy the podcast. We'll catch you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.